Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Today is Friday, March 12, 2021. CNN report. Andrew Cuomo's chances of staying in office just went way down. A coordinated call from the majority of New York's Democratic congressional delegation for Andrew Cuomo to resign in the face of sexual harassment and bullying claims, as well as questions surrounding nursing home deaths from COVID-19, badly imperils the New York governor's chances of surviving this series of growing scandals. Those calling for Cuomo to step aside ranged from influential liberals like Reps.
CNN report. Bezos declines invitation from Sanders to testify before Senate Budget Committee. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos will not be testifying before the Senate Budget Committee on Wednesday, according to Mike Casca, a spokesman for Senator Bernie Sanders. The chair of that committee, the company told the panel Friday that the Amazon (AMZN) founder is unable to attend next week's hearing on inequality. Casca told CNN. In a statement, the e-commerce giant said that it is supportive of a $15 minimum wage, a policy the company implemented for its own workforce several years ago.
BBC report. Yehuda Meshi-Zahav, Zaka founder and Israel Prize winner accused of assault. Yehuda Meshi-Zahav set up Zaka in 1989, and was recently awarded the Israel Prize, the country's highest civilian honor. The allegations were first reported by Haaretz newspaper on Thursday, leading police to launch an investigation. Mr. Meshi-Zahav has forfeited his Israel Prize and stepped down as head of Zaka. In a letter to Zaka members and volunteers, he said he was giving up the prize out of deep concern for this holy organization that I have built with my own two hands.
Fox report. China slams U.S. criticism of Hong Kong election changes, questions America's moral capital. A Chinese official hit back Friday at U.S. criticism of planned election law changes in Hong Kong, noting the chaos surrounding the recent American presidential election. Semi-autonomous Hong Kong is an internal Chinese issue that no foreign country has the right to interfere in, said Zhang Xiaoming, deputy director of the Hong Kong and Macau Affairs Office of the State Council. I don't know that after the storming of the U.S. Capitol on January 6, how the U.S. has such moral capital to point fingers at the election institutions of Hong Kong. Quote.
Deutsche Welle report. Spanish police seize homemade submarine built to smuggle drugs. Spanish police announced on Friday the capture of a homemade submarine that was being built to transport up to 2 metric tons (2.2 tons) of drugs. The seizure took place in February but was first revealed by the head of Spain's police force, Rafael Perez, in a press conference on Friday. The 9-meter-long, 30-foot vessel was found in a shipyard in Malaga, on the country's southern coast, following an international operation including 5 other countries and the European Union crime agency Europol into a global drug smuggling ring.
Al Jazeera report. Tanzania officials deny Magufuli sick with COVID-19. Tanzania's President John Magufuli is in good health and working normally, 2 officials said, after reports he flew abroad in critical condition with COVID-19. Magufuli, 61, is Africa's most prominent coronavirus skeptic. He has not been seen in public since February 27. Tanzanian opposition leader Tundu Lissu, who left for Belgium after disputing his election defeat to Magufuli last year, has said the president was flown to the private Nairobi hospital in neighboring Kenya and then to India in a coma.
Fox report. Minneapolis to pay $27 million to settle George Floyd family lawsuit. Minneapolis, AP, the city of Minneapolis on Friday agreed to pay $27 million to settle a civil lawsuit from George Floyd's family over the black man's death in police custody, even as jury selection continued in a former officer's murder trial. The Minneapolis City Council emerged from closed session to announce the record settlement, which includes $500,000 for the neighborhood where Floyd was arrested.
Deutsche Welle report. Myanmar. Journalist working for German press agency arrested. Security forces in the city of Tongji in Myanmar arrested a Polish journalist working for the German press agency DPA on Thursday, local media reported on Friday. The 30-year-old Robert Bosiaga was allegedly beaten up and injured, a reporter for local Kittit Media wrote on Facebook. The news was corroborated by the Myanmar Mix portal as well as several social media users. The German press agency said that it was not currently in contact with Bosiaga.
Fox report migrants smuggled across Texas River as border crossings surge. Video shows a video posted to social media shows hundreds of migrants waiting to cross the Rio Grande into Texas even as the Biden administration insists that there is no crisis at the border. The video appeared on the TikTok account of Tripwires and Triggers, a service started by Jason Jones to keep the public informed about the situation at the southern border. Jones, who previously served as a captain in the Intelligence and Counterterrorism Division of the Texas Department of Public Safety, narrates the video.
Fox report. UPS driver brought to tears after town throws him thank you party for his efforts during pandemic. A Pennsylvania UPS driver was brought to tears after his town threw him a surprise party to thank him for his efforts during the coronavirus pandemic. The idea spawned from a PayPal account, dubbed A Gift for Chad, Dauphin UPS Man, which was started by two of his customers, Adam and Jenny Shickley. Adam Shickley told Fox News. Earlier this month, Jenny Shickley just planned to set up the account to raise money to buy Chad turns a thank you gift for his service throughout the Dauphin community.
BBC report. Pakistan Senate election. Row over spy cameras in polling booth. Prime Minister Imran Khan's party, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf (PTI), and the opposition coalition traded blame with each other over the cameras. Senators were electing a chairman for the upper house, in a hotly contested vote marred by controversy. The government's preferred candidate, Sadiq Sanjrani, was re-elected. The election was widely seen as a test of Prime Minister Khan's leadership. In the chamber, senators chanted "shame" as opposition Pakistan People's Party (PPP) Senator Raza Rabbani said the cameras were against the constitution and demanded an investigation.
Al Jazeera report. Quad leaders pledge new cooperation on China, COVID-19, climate. Leaders of the United States, India, Japan and Australia, convened by U.S. President Joe Biden in a first virtual summit of the Quad group of countries, pledged to work together to counter China's rising influence in the Indo-Pacific and cooperate on COVID-19 and climate. The leaders discussed challenges posed by China and focused on pressing global crises including climate change and the coronavirus pandemic, said U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan.
Al Jazeera report. WHO backs AstraZeneca coronavirus vaccine and plays down risks. The World Health Organization (WHO) has backed the use of the AstraZeneca vaccine after some European countries paused their rollouts following reports of the formation of blood clots in several recipients. More than 335 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines have been administered globally so far, and no deaths have been found to have been caused by COVID-19 vaccines. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said on Friday during an online news briefing.
CNN report. The pandemic forced a massive remote work experiment. Now comes the hard part. It's been 1 year since COVID-19 was declared a pandemic and businesses started closing. CNN Business looks back on the pandemic's impact on the global workforce and how things may have forever changed. At first, many thought the shutdowns would last a couple months. But 1 year later, millions of workers are still working remotely. The pandemic has forced a large segment of the global workforce to go through a remote work experiment on a scale never seen before, and a lot has changed in the last 12 months.
CNN report. Does the UK media have a racism problem? These journalists think so. Prominent journalists in the United Kingdom have dismissed claims by one of their own industry bodies that the British press does not have a problem with racism. The objections, including a rebuke from the Guardian newspaper, come after the Society of Editors rejected allegations made by Prince Harry that racism had played a role in how the British press covered his wife Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. The comments were made during an explosive interview with Oprah Winfrey in which the couple opened up about the challenges of life inside the royal family.
Deutsche Welle report. Turkey starts first diplomatic contact with Egypt since 2013. Ankara has restarted diplomatic contact with Cairo for the first time since 2013. Turkey's Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu said on Friday. Tensions between the two countries have been simmering over Turkey's support for Egypt's ousted Muslim Brotherhood-affiliated president and most recently over the war in Libya. According to Reuters news agency, two Egyptian intelligence sources said Turkey proposed a meeting to discuss restoring relations, but added that communication was still only preliminary.
BBC report. Goodwill Zwelithini. South Africa's straight-talking Zulu King. Bayede rings out the salute to the king as South Africans, young and old, use the phrase on social media to mourn his passing. He was a proud man who was a passionate defender of traditional culture, seeing it as a force for good both within South Africa and beyond its borders in the continent as a whole. But the king had his critics, who have accused him of hanging on to outdated ideas. He was also criticized for being willing to work with the white minority government in power before 1994, and not wanting to cooperate with the current government's land redistribution policies.
Thank you for watching 5 p.m. recap. To be notified, you can subscribe our channel and activate the bell.